Hi, everybody. It's Patricia Coughlin, March 23rd. I never know where to look on this thing so that it looks like I'm making eye contact with you. This is one of the things about meeting remotely, which we're all doing a lot of these days. Um, and that, in and of itself, is interesting. At least I'm finding it certainly helps. It's better than nothing, but it really is not the same as meeting in person. Anyway, that's not what I meant to talk about. So, of course, we're talking about the coronavirus, being isolated, sheltering at home, the effects of this, and again, how much we're going to allow external circumstances just reacting to what is or isn't happening out there to determine our inner state, or how much we are able to actually live from the inside out. The last time I talked about the importance of gratitude, that what we focus on has an enormous impact on our well being or lack thereof. So, the more we focus on things we have no control over, the more we choose to worry about what's wrong and what's missing, the more distressed we will be. Conversely, the more we focus on what we already have, that we are grateful for, the calmer and happier we will be. So the whole gratitude practice is extremely important. And today I wanted to talk to you about two other factors highly associated with well-being. And speaking of which, Yale has now offered their course on the science of well-being to everybody for free. So that's pretty cool. Just Google it and you can avail yourself of that course. So the other two things I want to talk to you about are presence, being in the present moment, versus going over the past or projecting into the future. And then the issue of meaning, what we make things mean. So if ever there was a time to practice being in the now, in the present moment, this is it. If you notice in this moment, or almost any moment, there's nothing wrong. Right now, for me and all my loved ones, everything is fine. We're healthy. We are alive. We have homes that are warm and safe. We have food. We have each other. So when you really pay attention to when you are distressed, you are almost never distressed about what is happening in this moment. When you are distressed, you are either obsessing about something that happened in the past, going over and over it, figuring out what was wrong with it, wishing it were different, or you are imagining a future that hasn't happened yet, and typically imagining it in a rather negative, even catastrophic way. So bringing yourself back to the present moment and just checking the reality. Is there anything wrong in this moment? There almost never is. So that's one practice that if you haven't already developed for yourself, this is a great time to do it. The other issue is that of meaning. What do we make things mean? Human beings are meaning-making machines. So we have a need, it seems, an intrinsic need to create stories and narratives and to create meaning out of our experience. So again, we may not choose what happens to us, but we have some choice about what we're going to make it mean. And this is where that Buddhist, I don't know what you call it, but perspective on the difference between pain and suffering. That there is pain in life, right? Being isolated, not being able to go to work, not having a paycheck, maybe having someone you know be sick. These are painful circumstances. But suffering is optional. So when we find ourselves saying that what is shouldn't be, for example, we are going to add suffering onto pain. Right, there's this other Buddhist parable about a man went to the Buddhist monk, and he was talking about a young man who lived in the village. He had just turned 18. His father was a wealthy man, and so for his 18th birthday, he had given his son this beautiful stallion. And the man said to the monk, "Wow, isn't this great? Isn't he so lucky that he has this beautiful horse?" And the monk said, "Well, we'll see." And the next day, the guy comes back to the monk and he says, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what happened. The guy, he fell off the horse. The horse threw him, and he broke his leg really severely, and now he's in traction. Isn't that terrible?" And the monk said, "Well, we'll see." And then the next week, war broke out. And all of the young men were conscripted, right, into the armed forces. And yet, because this guy was laid up in traction, he couldn't go. And so the man says to the monk, "Wow, isn't he lucky?" And again, he said, "We'll see." So we don't know, right, what's going to happen in the future. And we really don't know whether it's good or bad. So all of our judgments about things, resisting what is, making what is wrong, will add enormous strain and suffering. So really try to become aware of these processes in yourself and also in your patients. Are you actually living now? Or are you projecting some trauma from the past into the future, or just writing some catastrophic scenario for yourself? What kind of meaning are you making of this situation? And is that adding suffering to what's already a painful situation, right? Or does it add significance? Can you start to look at what needs to change in your life? And again, what the gifts are in this situation. So I hope these reflections are helpful to you. I would love to hear from you. So let's stay connected, and I'll talk to you next time.